What's up guys, I'm coming back with another video after a long time, but I've been saving this topic for a while and I've been thinking about whether or not I should make a video or not, and I figured, why not? So one thing about me is that I grew up with a lot of Mario. I loved the Mario games. I loved playing Super Mario Galaxy on my Wii, and I loved playing Super Mario 3D World on my Wii U, as well as Mario Kart, and Mario is just what I grew up with. And I remember in 2015, that was a year where Nintendo went on a big spree to announce that they're making a theme park, as well as looking into mobile apps, as well as looking into making movies and leasing out its IP. And for those of you who don't know, that was a big deal because prior to that, Nintendo was very protective of their IP. You usually didn't see them foraying out into different ventures. You saw some in like the early 90s, but for majority of the 90s as well as 2000s, you didn't really see Nintendo, grab on to other money-making opportunities. And it was only until the Wii U's failure that people started having doubts on Nintendo, and they decided, Nintendo, that they were going to diversify their company as well as look into other ventures and partnerships. So one of the things that really excited me in 2015, apart from the prospect of a new console that was going to be Nintendo Switch that was coming out, was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Seeing Mario on the big screen was something that I had been looking forward to, although arguably as I've gotten older, the hype has died down over time. But that's not to say that I'm, not looking forward to the movie anymore. Out of all the movies that are coming out, Super Mario Bros. Movie is the only movie that I'm truly excited for, that I truly want to see in theaters and not at home. I feel like when that movie releases, it's going to be a big deal between all the YouTubers that are going to be reacting to the movie, drawing comparisons to the games, making Easter eggs, looking out for them, making predictions, yada yada yada, whatnot. So undeniably, that movie is going to be a very big deal. And so since last year, after the movie got delayed, we finally got our first teaser trailer, then TV spots, and then a whole bunch of posters showing off what the movie is going to be about. And arguably, I would say that they have done a pretty good job. I don't think anyone is quite disappointed. I think the trailers have done a great job on selling us the characters, and overall, everyone's happy with it. But I personally am just a bit disappointed. You see, I love what they're doing with the movie, even though I'm not as hyped for it as I was back in 2015. I still love the amount of effort that they're putting in. In fact, just now we got a new TV spot where we see that they used the kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey, Toast Arena, as well as them having references to the Big Bob-omb battlefield from Super Mario 64, as well as an emphasis on Mario Kart. And those weren't the things that I expected. And when you take a closer look at the details, you realize that there has been a lot of love and care put into this movie. They've paid close attention to the details and they've done a pretty good job. But the number one thing that still stands out to me in this movie is Chris Pratt. I absolutely cannot get over his voice, and it is just taking me out of the movie, considering the fact that other characters are pretty close to their original voice actors. In fact, I would say that most of them have done a bang-on job. Bowser's and Jack Black's voice is perfect. I would argue that even Charlie Day's voice as Luigi is a bit unsettling, and it does also stand out. However, Luigi is not the main point of the movie, it is still Mario. And unfortunately, it just seems that Chris Pratt hasn't put in the effort. Now, many of you guys may say that it's wrong for me to judge a movie before I've actually seen the movie, but I would argue the whole point of trailers is to sell me on the movie, and the one thing that they have not sold me on is Mario's voice. You can't tell me that when making this movie, Nintendo didn't think about how important Mario's voice is going to be and how people are going to be receptive of that. If it doesn't remind them of the original movies, then are people gonna still like Mario or not? And for me, when I look back at the trailers, it just does not do a good job at making me excited for Mario. In fact, I'm more excited to see Bowser and Luigi on screen than Mario, because every time Mario talks, all I can think about is just Chris Pratt. It's Chris Pratt with a higher pitch voice. In fact, the amount of effort that Chris Pratt has put into Mario's voice, I'm pretty sure any one of us could do it. It's very disappointing when you hire someone that's a Hollywood A-lister, and I, don't want to fault this entirely to Chris Pratt. I think Nintendo also should have been smart and Illumination should have been smart and maybe picking another A-list actor that could have done a better voice that had more experience. I'm not sure what exactly they saw in Chris Pratt because I certainly don't see it. And I'm willing to bet that majority of the consensus is that Chris Pratt just doesn't do a good job as Mario's voice, but somehow they'll live with it and they'll be okay with it. But unfortunately, I'm not. It sucks how so much effort is being put into the Mario movie. So much detail has gone into this movie, so much love and care, as I said before, but you have the main character that just stands out like a sore thumb, and it hurts. It honestly hurts at how perfect this movie could have been, but because they chose to go with an A-list actor over someone that's a professional voice actor or someone that could have just put in more effort, they're losing authenticity in the movie. Now obviously, you know, things will change once I go watch the movie. Maybe I'll like the movie even more, maybe I'll hate it even more, but I am curious to see that. In the trailers, you don't really hear Mario talk that much. In fact, more of the dialogues come from Peach and a lot more come from Bowser, and I'm curious if maybe that's the reason why they don't have Mario talk so much, is because he'll stand out as being out of place and whatnot, and they figured maybe they'll just keep the talking to the other secondary characters. Who knows? But do you guys feel the same way? I know the talks of Chris Pratt's voice has, you know, been discussed for a while, especially when the original trailer or teaser launched, but the more and more we see of this movie, the more and more disappointed I become, just because of how perfect this movie is turning out to be, yet there's a glaringly obvious issue. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.